In this video, we are going to look at how to add shapes layer to Photoshop, and I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to try one or two things there. Okay, so now I have a background layer. I'm just going to unlock that, and we have our shapes right here. I'm going to pick the rectangular shape and draw a shape, a blue shape there. I'm going to remove the border. Now if you look at the layers panel, you discover that it automatically created a layer, but the layer and the layer O are not of the same icon. If you look, their icon are a little different. Now the icon or this kind of layer is what we call a shape layer, and actually we have three types of layer objects. So we have the rasterized layer, we have the shape layer, and we have the smart object layer. Okay, now for the shape layer and the smart object layer, they don't tend to reduce in properties, or they don't tend to reduce in properties when you transform them. But for the rasterized layer, which you've completely made editable, if you transform it, the properties are also transformed and in one way or the other reduced. So if you're working with an image, it's always advisable to use or to change rasterized layers to smart layers until your work is done, though in some cases though. But in subsequent videos, we're going to look at how or when to use each particular layer. So this is a shape layer, and this is how it looks like for different shapes. Now when you double click on the shape icon itself, it brings you out a color picker to change the color of the shape, as you can see. Now if you want to bring out the blending options on shapes, you right click and you see blending options, and if you want to rename it, you double click on the name to do that. Now to differentiate between shape layer and a smart object, I'll quickly bring in an image to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now let me get an image from my file manager, and I'm quickly going to drag one of these to our working environment. Now we have a layer of myself and a blue shape layer and a background layer. Now if you look at the three, they have three different icon. Now this is the rasterized layer, this and this are not rasterized. Now this is a smart object, and this is a shape layer. Now for the smart object, you can transform it without losing the qualities of or the properties of that particular layer. Okay, now let's assume I want to reduce the size of this image in one way or the other, and okay, let me undo that. So I want to reduce the size. Now the properties of this image was not tampered with in any way because it's a smart object. But if we happen to rasterize this and make it completely editable both in properties and in the shape itself, to do that you right click and you see rasterize layer. Now when you rasterize it, any transform action you carry on it becomes permanent, and as you transform it, it transforms both with the image and the properties of the image. Okay, so I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but maybe in other Photoshop courses we might talk about non-destructive editing, where we're going to look at or treat more on smart objects and shape layers alongside other things. So in our next video, we'll be looking at how to apply adjustment layers, and I'll also look at how to treat mask and layers too, even though we treated mask before.